When it comes to self-defense and fighting, the wisdom shared by experienced fighters and martial artists often boils down to a simple, profound principle: avoid the fight if you can. Drawing insights from various perspectives and real-life experiences, the advice herein emphasizes safety, situational awareness, and the importance of making smart decisions under pressure. Whether it's understanding the significance of avoiding hard surfaces during a confrontation, recognizing the signs of a seasoned fighter, or learning how to throw a punch without injuring yourself, these tips offer valuable guidance for navigating the complexities of self-defense. One good fighting tip I've learned is actually from Mr. Miyagi in Cobra Kai. No be there, which basically means if you can avoid a fight, do it. It's not just about winning, it's about safety. If someone looks like they want to fight, chances are they're either dangerous or armed, and fighting is not as glorious as it seems. One clever thing to do is to distract the attacker by throwing something, like your wallet, away from you so you can run in the opposite direction. Also, there's the 21 rule, where you should be aware of your surroundings and anyone within a 21 feet radius. If it indeed comes to a fight, aim to disable the opponent as quickly as possible, and then get away. But remember, no one wins in a knife fight, so avoid fights if you can. Avoid fighting on hard surfaces like concrete or pavement. It can result in serious injury or even death if someone's head hits the ground hard. Not only can it potentially cost a life, but it can also lead to legal troubles like jail time. It's a lesson I learned the hard way, and it's best to avoid it if you can. Also, I've seen lives ruined because folks decided to fight while drunk on concrete ground. It's always best to consider your surroundings carefully in such situations. Be cautious of individuals with cauliflower ear. This is a condition where the ear can be swollen due to repeated trauma, and this often indicates a person with significant fighting or physical combat experience. Trying to engage with them in a fight without adequate training or experience could end badly. I've gathered from my experiences to avoid a fight if possible, but when it's inevitable, throw yourself in fully. Strike hard and continuously, don't hold back. Staying passive or standing still can lead to defeat. In combat situations, it's crucial to remain calm, assess your resources, and capitalize on any advantage you have. Also, remember that an unfair fight doesn't exist. Use anything within your reach to your advantage. Lastly, always be aware of the potential consequences of a fight. There's always risk involved, including serious injury or worse, so it's vital to be mindful of this. Depending on the situation, it's best to aim for the neck. A quick, clean hit there can end a fight real quick, and if it does go down, don't forget to protect your own neck too. It's a weak point. Oh, and never fight if you're wearing a hoodie or anything that can be grabbed easily. Real fights aren't as awesome as they seem. If you're planning to get into a fight and you're choreographing your moves like it's a movie, you're probably gonna have a bad time. Also, this might sound funny, but never underestimate anyone due to their body size. There are some pretty rough and tumble skinny guys out there. A useful fighting tip is to not put your thumb inside your fist when throwing a punch, as it might cause injury to your thumb. Also, fancy moves like spinning roundhouse kicks might look impressive, but can throw you off balance if not executed properly. Stick to basic moves and aim for critical points, like the Adam's apple or genitals, for effectiveness. One technique is the old dick twist. The sentiment remains that if in a serious assault, going for the groin area could be your best bet to incapacitate your attacker and make your escape. And more importantly, remember, in a real-life, dangerous scenario, there are no rules. Aim to get away by any means necessary. Fighting while drunk isn't the best idea. After a challenge, you can end up throwing a haymaker that not only missed, but also snap your own wrist bones. Try not to punch bones, especially if you can't do it at a good angle. If you ever do, make sure to use vertical knuckles for hook punches. Also, I'd advise against whistle-stop tours on bones density. It often has little to do with how much milk you've drunk. From others' experience, some folks have been lucky enough to have dense bones without regularly drinking milk. However, punches can always go wrong. Some folks have ended up with long-term injuries doing so. Remember the old adage, pride comes before a fall. Avoid fights when you can, especially when tipsy. Saving your energy is crucial, despite what anger or adrenaline might be telling you. Don't underestimate the quick onset of fatigue. You've got to understand it's not always about being the strongest, fastest, or most skilled. Sometimes being able to endure and outlast your opponent works wonders too. Even well-conditioned fighters get exhausted, so we average folks stand no chance. The best part? Growing up with older siblings. Turns out they're the best fight tutors, and turning the tables on them when they're tuckered out really gives you a leg up in the whole survival of the fittest thing. Laughing off the pain helps too if you can manage that. But remember, learning to manage adrenaline in a real fight is vastly different from training for specialized fights with rules and referees. Work on your cardio. Most fights turn into grappling, and you'd be surprised how quickly you can tire out if you're not in shape. Even if you just manage to maintain some control and let the other person grapple, they usually exhaust themselves pretty quickly, giving you an upper hand. Also, learning positions to stall in can prove advantageous, allowing the other person to drain their energy before you strike. A little bit of cardio and knowledge of smart grappling can totally turn the tides. It's crucial not to fixate on the opponent's eyes. Instead, maintain your focus on the center of their chest. This way, you'll be able to anticipate punches more effectively, since changes in their torso movement can forecast their actions. Watching their core can also give you hints about their balance and movement shifts. Just remember that this advice is more applicable to one-on-one situations. If you're outnumbered, it's better to de-escalate or flee if possible. Whoever lands the first powerful punch usually has the upper hand. A real punch to the face can really throw you off, especially if you're not used to it. It's not all about muscle, but about understanding how to throw a proper punch, and footwork and balance play significant roles in this. And remember, even the best laid plans can go out the window once you get punched in the head. Watch out for people telegraphing their dominant hand. A surprise shot from the opposite hand can throw them off. If you think you're going to be in a fight, it's really best to strike first and get away as quickly as possible. Oh, and a swift, accurate finger jab to the eye can also be pretty effective. Remember that life isn't some film where you're the hero with plot armor, so walk away or even run when the option's there. It's not worth risking injury, a felony charge, or worse. My martial arts instructor, for instance, always reminds us to use our skills for defense only, and whenever possible, just not be there. Even if it's about defending yourself, fights in reality could potentially be life-threatening or seriously mess with your life. So consider yeeting out as a valid strategy. If you liked these tips about life, you can get more on the channel, so consider subscribing.